Throughout the history of Hong Kong cinema, comedy has always been a constant and stylistically distinctive presence. This became especially notable in the 1970s, when it was necessary to revitalize a film industry that had stagnated after the death of Bruce Lee. Lee's films featured simple plots with a violent but aesthetically impressive action style, offering Chinese audiences a relatable hero. However, his passing in 1973 almost led to the collapse of Hong Kong's cinema, as poor imitations and cheap copies flooded the screens. Finally, comedies emerged as the necessary remedy for this situation. Since the early groundbreaking works of Yuen Wu-ping, Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung, the combination of comedy and kung fu became an ideal formula. Viewers could enjoy an action film without constantly being compared unfavorably to Bruce Lee, allowing new stars to emerge from his long shadow. In 1976, Michael Huey's The Private Eyes was one of the first successful examples of combining comedy and wrestling. Sammo Hung was involved to spice up the action, while the fun came from the creative use of weapons. For example, sausages were used as nunchucks, which were defended with sharp teeth to the music of Jaws. This style of cinema, novel at the time, is still appreciated by fans today. In the late 70s, two films and the success of one star in particular redefined the action comedy genre and changed the evolution of action cinema. The films Snake in the Shadow of the Eagle and The Drunken Master, starring Jackie Chan, were key in this change. At the time, Jackie Chan was missing out on opportunities due to several film flops, but these two films made him an overnight star. Various actors and directors later reused the simple formulas of these films to greater success. However, this innovative style of filmmaking also quickly became outdated, and something new was needed. This new style of kung fu comedy manifested itself in films such as Carry On Pickpocket, directed by Sammo Hung, and Winners and Sinners, the first in the Lucky Stars series. These films broke with the old style of martial arts and traditional teacher-slash-student plots, introducing in their place a shorter, more flexible and dynamic fighting style, framed by independent comic plots. Additionally, Winners and Sinners introduced us to the now famous trio of Sammo Hung, Yuen Biao and Jackie Chan, who quickly became the core of what is today considered one of the most iconic kung fu comedies of all time.
我係最大啊，我應該老大啦啩？
我係老二，
我係老三，
我係老四，
咁我老五啊。
師傅教落，有前我後，打死霸就嚟啊！我夠晒好彩呢一世人。
Carry On Pickpocket was one of the first modern action comedies, notable for its contemporary settings, 80s fashion and frenetic fight sequences. In a nightclub scene, Sammo imitates Charlie Chaplin with breadsticks before taking on a group of clubgoers, all while wearing a flashy 80s Mickey Mouse sweatshirt, all in just 10 minutes. Among the most memorable fight sequences, Winners and Sinners, includes an exciting and creative vehicle chase involving motorcycles, cars and high-speed skates. In one of its sequels, Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars, a perfect mix of comedy and action is achieved, with Sammo facing off against Yasuaki Kurata, who wields a sai and a pair of tennis rackets. At that time, nothing could match the creativity and ingenuity of these films, which managed to satisfy both those looking for laughs and those who wanted intense emotions. In the Lucky Stars series, Eric Sang, Richard Ng and Stanley Fung are a constant presence, forming a comic trio reminiscent of The Three Stooges in Chinese version. They often recreate short scenes from the famous trio's old black and white American films. Eric is often the butt of the joke in these films, but off-screen he is an influential producer and director. In recent times, he has appeared alongside Jackie Chan in The Accidental Spy, and with Jet Li in Hitman, providing a touch of humor and lightness. In the 1980s, many Hong Kong action films included comedic elements, even in serious films like Police Story. However, some Western versions of these films eliminated the comedy scenes, depriving audiences of moments like Jackie Chan moonwalking on a cow dung or trying to handle 5 phone calls simultaneously, becoming increasingly confused. It was thought that Westerners would not understand or appreciate Chinese humor in serious action films, so these scenes were removed from international versions. However, much of this comedy is visual, which allows it to be understood anywhere regardless of the language.
揾陳警官係嘛？唔該等陣啦。陳警官，你嘅電話。哦，唔該晒。喂，揾邊位？做緊乜嘢啊？我咪同你講緊電話。得唔得閒啊？哦，請我食飯啊？幾時都得啦。啊，你等等下，沙羅個警住。我老公打我啊！咩啊咩啊？你老公咩話？我老公打我啊！你老公打你，耐心啲等啊！邊個俾人強姦啊？我俾人強姦啊！唔見一條橋嘅，等陣啊！你幾時？事後避孕丸食啊！事後避孕丸邊度有得食？我幫你查下啦。喂，報失組啊！哦，唔記得條橋係嘛？阿咩啊？唉，我好忙啊！阿媽叫我揸主意去邊度食。哦，等我諗下先啊。喂，喺邊度啊？
In 1984, the trio of Hung, Biao and Chan teamed up to star in the Chan-directed masterpiece, Project A. This film not only cemented the trio's box office success and their versatile new style of kung fu comedy, but also showed the first signs of the strong influence of silent film artists of the early 20th century, such as Harold Lloyd, Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin, in Jackie's action style. The sequel to Project A included a dramatic recreation of a scene from the 1920s silent comedy, Steamboat Bill Jr., in which the side of a building collapses on Jackie and only a small open window saves him from being crushed. To this day, Jackie is still often described as the Buster Keaton of Kung Fu. The trio continued to collaborate on quality films until 1987. During the filming of Dragons Forever, tensions arose between Jackie and Sammo, and Yuan Biao expressed a desire to become more independent, which led to the old school friends taking different paths. Since then, they have not been seen together on screen as a trio. This separation likely contributed to the decline in the quantity and quality of subsequent action comedies, which was especially noticeable in the late 90s. Recently, the three have shown interest in working together again. Hung directed Jackie in Mr. Nice Guy, and Biao collaborated on action stylization for Chan's Hollywood hit, Shanghai Noon. The Aces Go Places film series had success comparable to that of Lucky Stars. In 1987, Sammo teamed up with his old friend and Dirty Tiger Crazy Frog colleague Karl Maka to create Lucky Stars Go Places, with the goal of revitalizing the franchise. However, by the late 1980s, both concepts were losing popularity. Additionally, due to a fight between Jackie and Sammo, Chan's absence from other films in the series affected its international marketability. As a result, Sammo diversified his filmmaking style, producing varied films. Some, like the notable Pedicab Driver and Millionaire's Express, included comedy, while others, like the equally notable Eastern Condors, did not. Millionaire's Express, known in the West as Shanghai Express, is one of the last great kung fu comedies. This film brings together almost all the Hong Kong film stars of that era, except Jackie Chan, who did not participate due to a previous breakup. The film stands out for its comedic scenes, such as the situations in which Richard Ng tries to escape from his disheveled wife to be with another woman, creating some of the most ingenious excuses. Plus, the action is impressive, with memorable showdowns between Yuan Biao, Dick Wei, and Sammo. Also, Western actors Cynthia Rothrock and Richard Norton get the chance to shine on Jade's screen. Since the 1990s, new wave kung fu films such as the Once Upon a Time in China series have abandoned comedy, making the comedy style in kung fu cinema seem to have missing. However, some quality action films from that decade, such as Jet Li's standout Fong Sai Yuk, have managed to incorporate comedy successfully. In this movie, it's not Jet Li's character who gets the laughs, but his mother. In the sequel, Sai Yuk's mother has a drunken night out with Yuan Kwai and believes she is magically pregnant, waking up with a big belly the next day. However, her bloating is due to trapped gas and not miraculous conception. Since then, only Jackie Chan has managed to consistently and successfully combine large doses of comedy with action, believing that this was his gateway to the West. In Hong Kong, comedies and action films have become quite separated, making it difficult to combine them like before. This could continue until a new phase in action movies emerges, as has happened in the last 2 decades. Unfortunately, this new phase appears to be unfolding in Hollywood, where action choreographers and directors such as Wu Ping, Yuan Kwai, Dion Lam and Yuan Chung Yen have been tapped to create a new style of Western blockbusters, leaving Hong Kong in the lurch. A situation of uncertain development. If we never get a real kung fu comedy to match those of the 80s again, at least we'll always have classics like Project A, Winners and Sinners, and Millionaire's Express available on DVD, as well as they were originally conceived. This will allow new and future generations of fans to experience some of the best moments in Jade cinema.